Praise the Lord and good evening to all of you members of the Global Evangelical Church, the Yahweh Chapel, situated here in Lashibi, Tema, in the Greater Accra region of Ghana. Once again, today is Wednesday, and as usual, I'm coming your way all the way from the chapel, standing on the altar as you can see me here. We want to continue our series of teaching concerning how we can bring our families to making decision to serve the Lord and to do so with all of their hearts. The past 3 weeks, I've been talking about the need to choose and to decide on this issue, and also the need for the family head or the Christian leader in the home to take the lead and also fix the time, gather the family, adopt a pattern, and be flexible in the organization and the leadership of the family into worshiping God. Today I am going to talk about how we are to take lead, looking at some biblical examples so that we can follow after them. Are we set? And are we okay? Now we want to look at, to remind ourselves that we first talk about Numbers, Joshua chapter 24 verse 15, when Joshua took the lead to tell the people of Israel to make the frantic effort to select or to choose Yahweh as their God to serve together with their family. And he also declared his intention to them by taking the lead and telling them that whether you like what I'm telling you or not, I, Joshua, I have already decided that I am going to serve the Lord together with my family. And so, definite decision-making, resolution, and commitment to that decision to serve the Lord is a key part of bringing your family into fellowship and relationship with God. Now, we also saw in Deuteronomy chapter number 6 verse 1 to 7, where Moses called the Israelite community to remind them of their need to choose God, Yahweh, as their God, and to serve him and love him with all their heart, their soul, and their minds. Now today we want to look at more examples in the Bible of fathers or mothers and of Christian leaders in their homes who took the lead in leading their family to God. The family unit is a very essential unit for God, where discipleship and training for godliness is expected. And when the husband, who is the priests and prophets and lead, Genesis chapter 18, there are wonderful things there to read. I will read from verse number 16, but my major focus is in verse 19. So follow me. Then the man rose from there and looked towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to send them on the way. And the Lord said, shall I hide from Abraham what I am doing? Since Abraham shall surely become a great and a mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him. Verse 19, For I have known him in order that he may command his children and his household after him, that they may keep the way of the Lord, to do righteousness and justice, that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has spoken to him. Amen. Beloved, once again, I have just read from Genesis 18, Genesis chapter 18, and the verses I read from 16 to 19, these three verses of them. Now, here we're talking about God, and we're talking about Abraham. Abraham was called in chapter 12 of Genesis from his father's household and commanded to come out of that home to a land that God was going to show him, so that he will inherit that land, he and his children after him. And God promised him that he will be great, his name shall be great, and that those who bless him shall be blessed, those who curse him shall be cursed, and that he shall be blessed to the extent of being a blessing to all. Yes, so as Abraham exemplified obedience by listening and following Yahweh, he packed and left his house. Abraham, yema wuya le fofua papa me le Mose pa gbale gbanto etawi evea me tito me de klemiu alaba de ko do agba o jira do kido yo hotu apama egbe onya amare agbo be chuku no to ya lo ta gbo gbegbele me ye odogo bo irara anyi gbaraji anyi gba ifa ngbe do ya ko na menya fika anyi gba lo yo odogo e ko klosro yo klolot ko yo jemo be ejoina menya fika han imolo. Chapter 18 ya mi ba do fifia mawu pe dola pe de defia lo mawu pe de defia les me Sodom ple Gomora pe klan voenu wowo o pe gbegbelen va sogbo alebe mawu jibi atunu pakplo mawu dola va dicha e kekla be nu ameton ba ina yo bo o Abraham enu igbe mi yina re mi agblo ne lo alo mi akwegla awo gbede ela be mi nya be Abraham eva zudu ko gade e efen ko hanyonyoge e be ne wa nya mi nwi e be wa fia viawo le emegbe nu yo wo nya cho mian be viawo ha na no agbele nyerodo nu a anyo be mafonu na Abraham e ma de nyagimanya wo agblo ne be Abraham ha na agblo ne viawo. That what is the basis for which God was going to reveal the secrets to Abraham about what he was going to do? If you read the text very well, verse 19 says, for I have known him, in order that he may command his children and his household after him, that they keep the way of the Lord, to do righteousness and justice, that the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has spoken. I can't tell whether God knows some of us fathers at home, and God can trust us that we know him well enough and will be willing to communicate our knowledge of him to the children that we have, to the sons and daughters that we have after us, so that they can also keep the way of the Lord. So it is necessary, and that is the desire of God, that every family is led to know him and is led to walk in his way. Every child in a family, every household must be commanded, must be taught to keep the way of the Lord and to do righteousness and to do justice. Because the Lord said that if that is done, then the Lord may bring to Abraham what he has spoken of him. What it means is that the blessings that await us and our families are also premised on the fact that we are going to walk with the Lord in obedience, walking in his way, walking in righteousness, and walking in justice. And God was confident that he knows that Abraham would do that. God's statement about Abraham and God's statements about Moses, that he is a very humble servant, someone who is bigger or mightier than any other person. Has seen that he talked with him face to face. What God said about David, that he is a man after my own heart. What God said about Job, that he fears God and hates evil. These testimonies are key for people who want to lead others to God. And a leader of the family must be an exemplary person whom God can give a good testimony about and say that when he knows my decrees, he will lead my family and my children to walk in my standard, to walk in my way, to walk in righteousness, and to walk in justice. But we want to read Genesis chapter 35, and then we look at verse number 2 and verse number 3. Genesis 35. I want you to go there with me. Genesis 35. Those of you hearing me and studying alongside with me, Genesis 35, we'll look at verse number 3, verse number 3, verse number 2. But I can read from verse 1 to 3 so that we can get it well. Now Jacob returns to Bethel. Then God said to Jacob, "Arise, go up to Bethel and dwell there, and make an altar there to God, who appeared to you when you fled from the face of Esau your brother." And Jacob said to his household and to all who were with him, "Put away the foreign gods that are among you. Purify yourselves and change your garments. Then let us arise and go up to Bethel, and I will make an altar there to God, who answered me in the day of my distress and has been with me in the way which I have gone." Verse 4 says that, so they gave Jacob all the foreign gods which were in their hands, and the earrings which they were in their ears, and Jacob hid them under the terebinth tree which was by Shechem. Look at this. This is Jacob. Talk about Abraham. We haven't talked about Isaac yet, but we're talking about Jacob. He had had an encounter with God and had been delivered from the hand of his brother Saul. Then the onus is on him to communicate to his sons and his daughters how God has been gracious, how God has delivered him, how God has shown him mercy, so that he will instruct his children after him to revere, to respect, to trust, and to worship this God. Jacob wenye ya ni igbe o de ble nu itwi la gbe ya me ale o shi le foanu ble le ko chi gbe dada o fo le ko ba no anu agbo ple fuyo kata mo to nu yo peke hafi o tendre gonu de ka de vele akpere mu ale o ga wo hafi trova dogole e pa denyigba ble le kema o fie mo e be enovia isol me wi chotale nu ko fugbo ebe ma ugbo na be kwera e wo nye ma wi ke de ko nye ko fiao e me kpere mu wo de la jovon di yomede jagbagba na ro vo samuel kri na e na have wo da wi be na mi adebubu nye laji me ka ma susu beta ma wo le jiji menare fo ma o kata no ho vi oklo sro ko ba ye kuma e wa suboyo aba Joshua na agbo na ba mi de tro tuto wala le mi adome ma wo tuto mi de ora le mi adome mi cho fugbe nenye be mi chia be ya subo Yehowa la ma wo vangu onye me zona pakple tro ale o kata wo de tro ko fugbe e yo cho be jina ma wo Abraham jo le fofua papa me ama o gbo be fofua tro subo la onye e ata edo le me e mi mesebe e fo tro kle legba kla tikpakpe kla klamareke le la siko le gbeji ko le yo e ata o kle ma wo so ma wo be yenye be eru ato nu ike ye fie la akemi ba roji vivia Jacob nye ala nya aglo na via o eye nukuto ela obenu le gomena jagbagba mega kare viwo plus roji akpa abe fometato na wanya benena na le osi okola lo rukwesi bi okola gbedam le rukwesi alo yo kola gbenome alo yo kola rukwita blemia no da sele no ma wonti e watro le ma gbagba la wonti a cho fa jiwo ana. So we have to do day-to-day evaluation of ourselves and the prunings. Do we have certain things, certain habits, certain vision, certain behavior, certain character? Jacob wa ewo jesimanami eye mi ekpe ha le nwana ome. Now, let me hear 1 Kings chapter 2, verses 1 to 2. 1 Kings chapter 2, verses 1 to 2. Mia de jesibe efia David. Esika odo evia Solomon. Etekpo bena ya koloni. Epe nu kokolo ple nu fofo ne a mi akpora be nu kai wo abe evifofo nene evifofo. 1 Kings chapter 2, sorry, and then we are looking at verses 1 to 4. 1 Kings chapter 2, verse 1 to 4. David instructs Solomon. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die, and he charged Solomon his son, saying, I go the way of all the earth. Be strong, therefore, and prove yourself a man, and keep the charge of the Lord your God, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes, his commandments, his judgments, and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that you may prosper in all that you do, and wherever you turn, that the Lord may fulfill his word, which he spoke concerning me, saying, if your son take heed to die their way, to walk before me in truth with all their hearts and with their soul, he said, you shall not lack a man on the throne of Israel. So, beloved, we will also see that we have seen David, who had walked with the Lord and has served Israel as a paramount chief for 40 solid years. Now he's put in place a successor. And now that David is old to the point of death, he had to take the lead to caution his son Solomon and to encourage him and to command him and to instruct him to walk in the way of the Lord. In justice, he must keep to the teachings and the guidance and live his life in such a way that his whole heart commitment and mind and strength must go into his service to the Lord. And David said, look, God has promised me, but the promise was linked to you, my children, that if your children will do what I ask of them and they will walk in your way, then you, David, you will not lack someone who will sit on the throne after you. You think God is a fool? Why is God tying the blessing of David to his generation to come? Why is God tying the blessings of Abraham to his children and children's children? Why is God telling Jacob that, Jacob, bring your children together, make an altar for me, and let them worship and serve me? I believe that is because God is interested in the whole of our family and bringing all of us to him to serve him. So family heads, fathers, mothers, sisters, and brothers, you must follow this good example and call your sons and daughters, instruct them in the way of the Lord. Now in our chapter 10, verses 1 and 2, we want to look at another example. In our chapter 10, verses 1 and 2. So we are getting there. We want to see what Cornelius did. Cornelius, the story of Cornelius. So open your Bible to me to Acts chapter 10. Then the verses are 1 all the way and 2. Now there was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of what was called the regiment, the Italian regiment, a devout man, and one who feared God with all his household, who gave alms generously to the people and prayed to God always. We have a man here called Cornelius. Even though at the point in time when we are talking about him, he was not allowed to worship with the Israelites. But he was described as a God-fearer, a devout person, and one who gives alms and prayed regularly to God. But the Bible says that he did not do that alone. He did that with his family. It is high time that the church focuses on the families and bringing them together and binding them together, instilling family values and respect for one another in the family, and encouraging fathers and mothers to live up to expectation of raising their children and training them in godliness. The world is decaying. The society is breaking down. Morals is fading away. Corruption is eating into our system without any resistance. And we raise human beings who act like robots. They have heads, but it appears there is no brain in their heads. And they do things that you cannot understand. And they think that there is no God. Whom do we blame? Because we have left our homes unattended to. Nukai nye okpo, nukai le begbena, nukai la siwo, nukai ne subona, nukai ne chowagbena. Nyamaro se video galabati tenami. Eye sebe o galali jinami. Jokavio pletio le nuo tenami. Mia soroklo mia vio, they cannot trust us. Wolam kulele mia unti with suspicion be agbeka no mi le ha. Mia ivu agboba zagawi nane. Afo zano nuo chantim. Omenya nu ka wo miele eya na be du call gbagba mi atrole ho amawu eye mia o nto mi ata dasle le gbavio unti e mi agbo na mi asoro kru mi avio be mi dasle no madi nu onwuti mi va mi subo ma wi ke wojipo okplanyegba e mi akom nya pa jiwo ne la e kama ya ira ma vo ike ngbe ma odo na mi a ava mi aji Cornelius e polovia pele papo meto kata va ma ugbo odu ogbara aji onu agbe kokwe wona anu amada ho eyata mawu deje si hedodo la oro la gbo wo wi yan trosubo la afa ko gbanto yi ke mawu yira wo pakole gbogbo kokwe fe chideta eye o kasio hafi gere mi afenu jojo me wo me no gbedo ho ma hafi o wo me no sole ma hafi o kake because wo deje si be mawu nya mawu yo asubo eye o fofo le ngogbe wetala ya yira esobo. Mavilo to egba majibe makono fi asem nya nyen be enyo be mi aka mi apopo moto ba e lesima otu vola mi anu mi le ko ma fi mi gala godom sogbo wa di yi na kposoro gbo e na mama wo fa gbanya na o adu anyi na oba watia ma wo aba wo kplo la kplo subo ameka wa subo no ne ekema emma mi kata na mi walere ma fa yayira ano mi aji kura gbo wale yo na mi ga do ma yiji aga kpolo nu bubu ale kemia osi mi avia o kle mi apometo e mi achoma wa